Dear humans, I stand here today not for myself, but for every tail wagger, sloppy kisser, and curtain ninja. I stand here for each one of the thousands of dogs and cats killed in shelters each day, asking you to join our cause and help us make sure every best friend has a chance to meet one of their own. With Best Friends Animal Society leading the charge, and your help, we can save them all.
Thank you for joining us for Pet Connect. I'm Tara Douglas. Even though it's still warm out there, we are walking dogs this weekend. So we're having our regular dog walking event at the Sylacauga Animal Shelter. We'll be there from 11 to 1, and as we always do when it's so warm out there, we will have some water available for the dogs to jump in. We've got some kiddie play pools that a lot of volunteers have donated to the shelter, and then we have one that's really cool. It's got water squirting everywhere, so the dogs love that one. And if you want to come out, you of course are welcome to get into the squirting water also, so that we can get all these dogs walked. And we have shorter walks, but we are all enjoying being out there walking the dogs. And not this weekend, but next weekend on July 12th, that Friday night, we're going to be at Food Truck Friday. So Santa Magic is going to be there. They have arranged to have Santa Claus himself at the park. And he's going to be doing photographs with kids, with pets, with whatever you'd like to photograph with them. And it's $10 for each picture, and all of the proceeds go to the Sylacauga Animal Shelter. So we hope everyone comes out to Central Park on July 12th from 5 to 8. Enjoy the live music, enjoy all of the food trucks that are going to be there, and get some pictures made with Santa. We also have some volunteers from the Feral Dogs of Avondale Mill who will have available dogs for adoption. So you can meet some dogs there if you can't make it to the shelter. So again, that's July 12th. So that's a week and a half from today. Now, I've asked our animal control officer, Douglas Nixon, to join us again. We're going to periodically have him on the show, so we appreciate you coming back on. We just had him on a few weeks ago, but
it's good to be back.
Now, before we get going with what's happening around town and what's happening with animal control in the shelter, let's talk about our available pet of the week. We have India. She is, as you can see in this picture, India is in foster now, but she was at the shelter. Now, Zach had a lot of interaction with her. She had an injury to her neck, right?
Correct. It looked like she may have been involved in either a dog fight or had something that was stuck into her throat that would not come out, and it kept constantly getting affected to the point where it required surgery to actually get it out. And now she's doing a lot better.
And I know that the shelter staff did so much to take good care of her while she was there, but that spot on her neck just would not heal.
It would not.
And so the great folks at 280 Animal Hospital up in Westover, they took care of it and got her all fixed up and sewn up. So she's recovering at Lynn Averett's house. Lynn is one of our great volunteers. She shows up every chance she gets at the shelter, and she's been such a wonderful addition to our volunteers and taking care of the dogs. And if you're a friend of Lynn's on Facebook, please watch her post, because she is so good about posting available pets and explaining all of their personality and what's going on with them, so that you can share them and you can find those pets a home. And she's got India right now, and what she's discovered with India is that even though Douglas said here that she might have been in a fight, she's a sweet dog. She loves all of Lynn's dogs. She loves to cuddle with Lynn. Lynn has so many pictures of her hugging India, and she's healing really well. And Lynn has discovered she's house trained.
Oh.
So she's doing a great job. So this is an opportunity for you to get a really sweet dog that has been in a foster situation. She's had time to decompress from shelter life, and it's a good opportunity for you to have a dog that we have so much information about. And we're just lucky to have people like Lynn volunteering and fostering and giving us that opportunity to know more than the shelter staff can figure out in the interactions you have.
Oh yes, she was, even no matter what she went through, even with all that, she still was happy to be around everyone.
I know. She's a delightful dog, and in spite of that, like I said, she's doing great with other dogs. We've never seen her have a problem with dogs walking at the shelter, and now Lynn is discovering even in a home setting, she is just as laid back and calm and just loves all of her other dogs too. And so she'd be a good dog for somebody to have.
Oh yes.
Just like so many at the shelter.
Yes, ma'am.
Now tell us about what's going on at the shelter right now. It's been a few weeks since we talked to you.
It is still over capacity and everything. We need any volunteers to help us. Donations will help. because it's getting hot out there, and we want to try to get the dogs out of the main floor of the area and get them out, get them in some water, get in some pools, just trying to get them a relief to the heat as just as we are.
Absolutely. Now, that's good things to talk about, because not only are the dogs at the shelter hot right now,
Yes.
the dogs in people's homes are hot right now too. So you have to make sure that you do all of the things that you can to keep your dogs cool.
Correct. Even if they're outside in dog houses and everything, please put the dog houses under the shades and everything, because it's just an oven for them if it's not. It's under shade or anything. And the other thing a lot of people might not realize is they're water bowls. If they're metal, they're going to heat up too. Try to keep those in the shade also.
We have a foster puppy right now, and she has a little area where we keep her separated from our dogs outside, and we have a metal water dish there for her, and we're constantly having to grab it when we pull her out and let her run around in the yard, because that gets so hot.
Oh yes,
And with just sitting in the sun. So
and with it being in direct sunlight, it'll evaporate so fast. You may put water in there at the beginning of the morning, and by the end of the day, it's gone.
And we're talking about dogs, but make sure you've got plenty of water for cats too.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
so if you've got outdoor animals, make sure that there's plenty of water and shade for them, because they're suffering right now.
Yes, they are.
I hate to think about all that fur sitting in that
Oh yes.
weather.
Because inside the dog houses, you had to treat it like it's a car, because it's just encapped. There's only one way to get air in and out, and if it's direct sunlight, it's going to get hot really fast.
And even better, if you've got some sort of spot where you can have if you have outdoor animals, where you can have them rest and you have fans, because I know
Yes.
that makes a big difference. You're seeing that at the shelter with
We are.
fans, and you've had some fans donated.
Yes, we
that,
have.
That we've got to get hooked up and blowing around to get some of that air
That's
moving.
what we're working on as we speak.
That's perfect. That'll be great. Now we talked about fans being donated, and Douglas mentioned that the shelter's always in need of volunteers and donations. Let's talk about now what kind of things you need donated. Do you have any? Do you know things that are needed right now? I know that there's usually an Amazon list, and you can go to the shelter
Correct.
Facebook page. Do you know right off the tip of your tongue what's needed?
Kitty litter is always
Okay.
with us, because we're having to change it out daily.
Okay.
And with having max capacity of cats, kitty litter is one of the big things I've seen. Kitten food, it's beginning of summer and everything. We're having an influx of puppies and kittens.
Okay.
And puppy food, kitten food, everything like that.
Now, do you know if it's mainly wet food that you need for puppies
Well,
and kittens, or both, wet and dry?
Preferably both,
Okay.
but wet food is a little bit easier, because if we have to, we can mix it with other things, and they're still getting the nutrients they need to grow up good.
And it is so important. I know that if you haven't had a puppy or kitten, or haven't had one recently, or you're not working at the shelter, it's so important they get that puppy and kitten food. They can't have that adult food and be really healthy and
Correct.
grow like they should. So that's an important thing that we need to make sure that the shelter always has.
Yes.
But I'm assuming on the Facebook page that there's still some opportunity to see other donations and things that you need. It's staying pretty updated.
Yes, it's staying pretty updated.
Good. So if you're wondering what you can donate for the shelter, certainly go on the Facebook page, and then you can see. They can probably call you and find out too, I would
Correct.
imagine. And the volunteers try to help with that as well. So if you know any of the volunteers, then you can check on their Facebook page or ask. And some of us, if we are aware, we'll be able to tell you what kind of needs the shelter has. So what else is going on at the shelter? How busy have you been picking up dogs
It has
and cats?
been quite busy. Within the last month, it's been about 35 animals that I've picked up myself.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure on the adoptions, but I have seen 3 or 4 just in the last week get adopted out.
Okay, that's great. That's really good, because with
Yeah.
an overcrowded shelter in a small community like we have, it is really wonderful to see any adoptions that we have. and
Correct.
any opportunity that we have, because you can go to the shelter. Which days are you open for people to come and look at?
We're open
dogs?
every day except Sundays and Wednesdays. That's
Okay,
when we're
so-
doing our deep cleans.
So you can go out to the shelter every day but Sunday and Wednesday to meet dogs, meet cats. And if you know anyone that's looking for a dog or cat, please suggest the shelter. Please have them look there first. There are cats at PetSense also, and those are cats that come generally from Feral Dogs of Avondale Mill foster families, but we also pull cats from the shelter to make sure that we can keep the cats from the shelter moving, because that is a good avenue that we have to get
Yes.
cats adopted as PetSense.
I've adopted 2 of them from there.
There you go. So, so our very own Douglas Nixon has cats from from PetSense.
Yes.
Now, what else? So you've had a lot of pickups this week,
Correct.
or this month, and
month.
and so the shelter's full.
Shelter is full.
And there we go again. We've got to really work on spaying and neutering dogs and cats in this area. We had our most recent spay and neuter voucher sale, and we sold out of the spay and neuter vouchers. But
Well, that's
we
good.
still have a problem here. And let's talk about different things that you're seeing and different things that you're hoping will change around
Yes,
here.
I'm hoping to have everyone start spaying and neuter like they're supposed to, like we talked about. Also, going around, and if you see an animal that looks like it's been abused or neglected, feel free to call us. We don't let anyone know who calls, so it's all anonymous. If you know of people that are fighting dogs, let us know. We can't have them getting out and attacking a child, because I've had a recently call where a dog has attacked a child, and
Yeah.
we don't want to see that. And the big thing is people that are breeding animals. And I've came across one that has so far in the last month, that's what they do, is they're breeding animals and everything like that. And we don't know if they're 100% breeding them to sell or they're breeding them for a dog fight. So for bait animals.
So unfortunately, you're seeing a lot of things that you probably wish you didn't see, and
Correct.
also we, most of the community probably doesn't know what's happening. So unfortunately, we have to tell people about it, and the community has to know what's happening out there.
Yes. It's not all sunshines and rainbows.
And I recently saw a statistic, and I have not confirmed that this statistic is 100% correct, but it said that only one out of every 10 dogs born ever finds a home, and only 1 out of every 12 cats. So that's a crazy thing to think about, and a sad thing to think about, that if we
Yes.
just worked really hard on spaying and neutering and did the best we could, then maybe that number would be lower. We wouldn't have so many stray and feral and so many problems and so much potential for things like dog fighting and
Correct.
abuse and issues like that out there.
Yes.
So anything else going on at the shelter you want to share with us?
Well, at the shelter, that's about it.
Okay.
Just, I know, 4th of July.
I know. Everybody, please be careful with your animals. We got the 4th tomorrow, and I've been hearing some fireworks.
Yes.
I'm sure it's going to be bad today and tomorrow and maybe through the weekend.
Yes.
But what happens? So let's talk about that real quick. So we've got people with outside dogs and cats. We've been talking about taking good care of them, talking about making sure they have plenty of water, plenty of airflow, plenty of
Yes.
everything, shade. But if your dogs or cats are outside and you have some way to get them in, they get scared when they
Correct.
hear these fireworks.
4th of July and New Year's are our 2 biggest days of animal runaways. The fireworks will scare them. More than likely, some of them will not come home because they either run, get hit while they're freaking out, or they'll run away and get lost or anything. Everything. I know I'm going to be busy.
Yes,
because
you will.
It's just, they're outside, please bring them in if you can. Even if it's just for the night, wait until the bulk of the fireworks are over with. They are going to be nervous and everything. I don't want to have to be the one that has to pick up your animal and it being either A, hurt, or you don't know where it is and have to come to the shelter. Because yes, it is a $50 to get your animal back, because we do give them shots, vaccines, and everything when we pick them up as our intake.
And you have to do that because
Correct.
we don't know where these animals come from, and you have to be so careful not to have something that can infect
Correct.
a full shelter.
Right.
So if someone's hearing that, I'm like, well, why would you do that if you know that's somebody's dog? You don't know that's someone's dog.
Right.
You don't know what's going on. So
I have picked up several strays that you would assume had just been let out of the house. No owner comes back for them. And they're the nicest things you can meet, but we still have to give them the shots because we don't know.
So let's talk about what happened. So, say your dog or cat disappears because of the fireworks, which hopefully that's not going to happen because you're going to have them put up somewhere. There are different ways. So there's a Pets Lost in Sylacauga Facebook page. You can submit a picture and some information about it, and that will often help because so many people look at that. If they see your dog or cat, or if they found your dog or cat, then they can let you know. And if you're not on Facebook but you know someone who is and you've lost your dog or cat, that's a great way. I see a lot of animals reunited through that.
Yes.
But then they can also call the shelter, correct?
Yes, they can call the shelter. If I've picked them up, and they'll be posted on Facebook, 7-day stray hold. But like he said, if you're not on Facebook, you can call. I keep a very good record of what I bring in and when.
Good.
So,
and can they also call you and send you a picture of their dog? So if you see that dog, or that the shelter can notify that person, hey, we got your dog now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. So that's worst case scenario. Remember, fireworks are happening. We've got to keep the dogs and cats safe.
We want to try to keep your pets home more than out on the streets.
Absolutely.
Because if they're not spayed or neutered anyways and they get out, they could become pregnant or impregnate another animal and then come back, and you'll be none the wiser until either, hey, you have a litter of puppies, or there's 6 more dogs out here on the streets.
And like you said, the shelter's full of puppies and kittens right now.
Correct.
Feral dogs of Avondale Mills Fosters are all full of puppies and kittens right now. And if you unfortunately have a litter that you were not expecting, or the litter that you were expecting you just don't want, there's not really help for it because the shelter can't do it when they're full. And we have so many people get upset when they contact feral dogs too, because we can't help, but our fosters are full and we can't guarantee we've got rescues to take them, and we don't have local adoptions often.
Correct.
So we need to, we don't have that outlet to get dogs, the puppies, to other states and other rescues. So it's a tough situation out there, but we're lucky to have the shelter that we have, and lucky to have all of you at the shelter, and we certainly are happy to have you combing the streets now, helping to take care of the problem. But we just appreciate you being on the show, and remember, keep lots of water. And also another thing we didn't talk about real quick, last week we had a special after the show about microchipping. That is a great way. If you have your dog or cat microchipped and something happens, then you're able to know exactly whose dog that is. So say you picked up a dog that's a stray, take it back to the shelter.
We check the microchip, it lets us know, and for the most part, will bring the dog back to you.
And that fixes all the problems, so that's an even better thing. And you can get microchips at all the vets. There are microchip clinics periodically, I know, at PetSense and some other places. And so, I didn't even say that, but that solves all the problem. Actually, the problem solving is to keep the dog or cat inside or protected.
And spayed and neutered.
And spayed and neutered, but on the flip side of that, if you got the microchip, like that special from last week, then that's a wonderful way to know whose dog it is.
Very helpful.
Okay, well, with that said, thank you so much again for coming on the show, and we're going to have Douglas on at least every quarter, because we love to hear from you and love to hear what's going on around town. And if anything happens and you need us to let the world know, then come on in and we'll come talk about it. But
I can do.
Hope everyone has a wonderful 4th of July, but make sure that you come out Saturday and walk the dogs with us. And don't forget, we got that event on July 12th also at Central Park that's put on by the Parks and Rec, the Food Truck Friday. And Santa Claus will be there. It's Christmas in July, so you can be out there and hope that he wears really cool clothes, because we're going to need fans and shade and other things for him if he comes out in full Santa wear, which he's not. I think he has summer clothes too. I'm pretty sure Santa can do that. But thank you so much for joining us today, and again, have a wonderful 4th, and we'll see you next week on Pet Connect.
Dear humans, I stand here today not for myself, but for every tail wagger, sloppy kisser, and curtain ninja. I stand here for each one of the thousands of dogs and cats killed in shelters each day. asking you to join our cause and help us make sure every best friend has a chance to meet one of their own. With Best Friends Animal Society leading the charge and your help, we can save them all.